Hey everybody, Craig Cottle, Director of Nature Reliance School, today with LT Wright.
Hey bro.
Good to see you, LT.
Well, thanks for coming out.
We're going to be taking a tour. We're going to be taking a tour with LT, and he's going to take us around his shop and see what all goes into making a knife. Tell us what we got here.
Right on. This is luckily we've been here for a number of years. We got a nice crew working with us. We're going to show you a few of the things that how we hand make our knives here. Right now, this is our what we call our red wall. This is where hardened blanks go before they get thrown out into production. A dealer can call and ask for a specific run of stuff, and they're here hardened and ready to do final grinding and assembly. So that's kind of what this area is right now.
So I see my favorite Genesis up there.
Which one's that?
Where is it? I saw it somewhere. You just had your finger on it.
Oh,
is that it?
This is yeah, this is straight up Genesis.
Yeah.
Here's some of the big Larrys. Oh yeah. So we have, and then the Gen 3. So these are just waiting to be built. You know, they'll get built soon.
So what comes after this? As far as knife building, what's the next section?
Building, I would say we'd have to go to the grinding area first.
Okay.
So which is in the back. So
Take
if you want to walk back there.
All right. So
this,
go ahead, LT.
This is our steel area. So kind of back here from the bandsaws back. On that side of the room, you can see that we have the drill presses. So that is our steel drill presses up along the wall. We keep our orders in the crates. So that's all set up. The drill presses in the back here usually get all oily, so we just leave these for just the back area, the steel. So where you're at now is in this area over here. This is where our stamping machine, and this is where we actually hydraulic stamp in the name into the knife, our logos and stuff. Or if we're working for other companies, we have some of their logos there and we'll stamp those in for them as well. But that's our stamping machine here. This is our row of steel grinders. But he's doing saber grind right now, so he's actually putting the bevel on the knife. John's got his Scotch-Brite set up, so he's cleaning knives and getting them ready, prepped for building. So that's what this machine's set up for. The far machine over there is probably set up to do scandies. Mike's grabbing his next batch of orders, so he'll be over there soon picking scandies. But as you can see, Sam is loading them into his fixture right there. And we already have the angle set on the machine for that batch of knives. And he will go in there and finesse that around there and get a really nice grind put on them. These are future projects that he'll be working on this week, so the knives are set up and different things going on as we work through here. Okay, now James back here is actually working on the handles. So what he's doing is he's taking, after they're built, he's taking them from this to this. So he's in there squaring up all the sides of the knives, getting them ready for the next process. Okay, so from here we'll go to the build area. Okay, so this is part of the build. Tyler's actually cutting the shape of the handle out on the bandsaw. And as you can see, we have a board there for safety that keeps his hands way far away from the bandsaw blade. So he has this tray sitting here, which is set up so he's cutting the actual shape out. So you can see that these are all done by hand. We drill the holes and getting everything, and he's prepping these for the next process. So as we walk around here, this is the drill press bank for the build area. Okay, those are the drill presses, and again, they don't have oil on them because we're going to be drilling through handles and different things here. So that's what that's set up. As far as building goes, these machines we have are set up for doing a specific process on the build. We front with these. And then we have our countersink drill presses for the hardware that goes into the handles. So they're set at a specific depth that we can take them down. They have a stopping point for that. As far as the building goes, as we step back here, here's the area where all the clamps are. We have our two-part epoxy glues that we use, which is a waterproof system. We also use super glues depending on what part of the knife we're working on. But you can see these are set out, laid out, and ready to go. He's got all of his different size hardware here in trays. The fish eyes are actually a screw and a brass nut. You can see there, and then we grind them off. And so the handles are not only glued on, in most cases they're screwed on to the bigger heavy duty knives as well. Then we have our clamps for gluing them up.
Fantastic.
we don't. Here's a couple that are glued up right there. You can see after the build, they put that set up, and then we let them dry overnight, and then tomorrow we'll do what's called the finishing work to them. Okay, so if we walk up here to the front, this is the roughing area. We'll use our routers and the big machine to rough stuff in on. So this morning I happen to be working on a maple project. So I'm getting these all roughed down to the proper sizes, and we have gauges that we use to keep things within tolerance. So usually most of the time I spend a lot of my day here working on this big old homemade machine. This homemade machine, and this is the original grinder. When I first started making knives, I sold my first handful of knives and had R.W. Wilson build me this grinder for $600. And he made me promise to paint it when I took it home. And I was in such a hurry to build knives, I never put a coat of paint on it. And to this day, I've never painted that grinder, and I've had it since 2002 or something like that.
Looks like it knows what it's doing already.
It still runs today. This was my all-in-one grinder. I have used this thing. It's full speed. It's not variable speed. And it's a monster. I've got a water faucet, turn crank here, and different things put on it that I've had welded on over the years, or different things. But this is my main, like, you have that old pair of shoes or that one knife you love. This is it. This is my baby. This is my grinder. So
fantastic.
That's what this area is. So this is kind of where they get roughed in, and then they get ready to go to finish. And we're going to walk back there. Right here on this cart is where we have all our dealers laid out. So depending on who we're working for, you can see that they come up from the back like this. So they come up all squared in, and then when I get them ready and prepped to go to the back, all the shape is put on them, all the steel is all strapped out and ready to go, and then the next guy just has to clean this up, and whether it be polish or in matte from there. And we'll walk back there and take a look at what they're doing in the back. These are our finished machines. These are variable speed. Brett is actually taking these knives. You can see he's polishing them, so he's taking them from the dull look. He's starting to put the polish on them, so that's what Brett's working on. Nick is actually putting the matte finish, or the Scotch-Brite finish, on the handle. So that's what he's working on right now. The handle's actually shaped, and he's just putting the final shape, or I'm sorry, the final finish on it, which happens to be a Scotch-Brite on that particular one. And Adam is getting ready to, the knives that we looked at up front where they were roughed in, Adam will take them from here, and depending on what the order calls for, he'll run them to the either Scotch-Brite finish or the full polish finish. So that's what he's got set up right now. And again, he's working off of one of our Bader machines that's a variable speed, and you can see that he's working on a slack belt portion right there. So that's that in-between portion there is allowing him to get the contours of the knife. Okay, let's and nobody's sharpening right now, so I won't be able to show you that, but we'll walk into the Kydex room. So this, and it's a little quieter too. Hold on. Here, we'll come over here. So this is our Kydex room, where we actually make Kydex sheaths for the knives. This is one of our DWX sheaths that got built, so it has a nice click-in point. So we do all that in here. We use these two old presses that we got off of a school. A school went, got rid of their wood shop, and I went and bought their tables and all their vices, and it was a great fit for us. Now, a lot of people use toaster ovens and different things to heat their Kydex. We use a t-shirt press. So we put the Kydex in there, shut the t-shirt press for 17 to 30 seconds. It's hot, and we can start molding it from there. So that's kind of what that's set up. And as you can see, we have different patterns and different things on the wall. We do Kydex for other people quite a bit, or any knife that someone wants to send to us, we do custom Kydex. There's always Kydex going on in here. And then that big gray machine over there is our laser, where we can put custom logos on stuff. There's nothing being cut right now, but it's set up, you know, if someone wanted to have their name or their school put on their knives or something, we can do that right here with the laser. And this is a project that's waiting, and it's a bunch of bone that we have that we're going to turn into little trinkets and keychains, and we'll have our logo thrown on them and use them as giveaways or what we need to do with them. But instead of just throwing the bone away, we figured we'd practice lasering it.
Heck yeah.
So that's pretty much it. So we have 15 employees total. That includes my daughter, who does not work on site. She's our social media person. She works in Virginia. And then we have the ladies that are in the office, and then everyone else works in the shop in one capacity or another. A lot of us can do all of the procedures in here, and there's a few guys that are still training up as we go along. But we all kind of find our place or our niche. One guy likes to sharpen better, one guy likes to do steel, some guys like to finish, and we kind of float them in and find those places where they like to be. Now, they still get an opportunity to learn all the things, but we fit them in where they're comfortable and they enjoy working, and it works out really well for us. We have a great bunch of guys, and couldn't be happier. We're a very blessed company, and thank you for your support through the years. I mean,
absolutely.
Goodness, you've been great to us and all the folks out there.
And we got a knife coming up, right?
That's up to
you. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
We're working on the Craig Cottle knife.
We have a special secret design that we're going to work up for you, but he's going to show it to you as soon as we can get him a prototype. I can just say this: it's nothing that we have or real similar to anything that we're doing right now. It's extremely interesting. You are going to want to see this. I like it.
Thanks, LT.
You bet, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming up.